I'm sitting here, trying to make sense of a truth that's torn my world apart, and I need to share it because keeping it inside feels like drowning. My name's Emma. I'm 32, and I thought I had it all figured out: a loving fiancé, a best friend who felt like family, a life I was building piece by piece. But a single message, one I wasn't supposed to see, changed everything. It showed me that my fiancé, Matt, and my best friend, Kate, have been betraying me, carrying on a secret affair right under my nose. I'm still reeling, still piecing it together, and I don't know what comes next, but I'm going to take you back to the start, because this kind of heartbreak doesn't hit all at once. It creeps in, quiet, until it's too late. Let's rewind to where it all began, because to understand how much this hurts, you need to know who I was before the cracks appeared. I live in Portland, Oregon, in a cozy loft with big windows and a view of the Willamette River, where I spend my days designing graphics for a tech startup called Greenwave. I'm a creative at heart, always sketching or hunting for inspiration in Portland's quirky coffee shops, where the rain taps the windows and the air smells like espresso. My life was good, busy, messy, but good. I had Matt, my fiancé of 2 years, who I thought was my forever, and Kate, my best friend since college, who was like a sister. Together, we were a team, planning my wedding, laughing over late-night wine, chasing dreams in this vibrant, rainy city. Matt and I met 3 years ago at a tech conference in downtown Portland. He was a software developer, all charm and quiet confidence, with dark curls and a smile that could light up a room. I was presenting a pitch for Greenwave, fumbling through slides, when he asked a question that wasn't just smart, it was kind, like he wanted me to shine. We grabbed coffee after, talking for hours about code, art, and our shared love for hiking in the Columbia River Gorge. He was different from the guys I'd dated before, the ones who left me feeling small or unseen. Matt saw me, listened, made me laugh until my sides hurt. He'd leave sticky notes on my laptop with silly doodles or plan rainy day picnics under bridges. We got engaged last year in a meadow under Mount Hood, with him promising we'd build a life full of adventure. I believed him. Kate was my anchor long before Matt. We met freshman year at the University of Oregon, bonding over bad dorm coffee and a shared obsession with indie music. She's a marketing genius, all fire and charisma, with bright red hair and a laugh that fills a room. After college, we both landed at Greenwave, me designing, her crafting campaigns. We were inseparable: weekend brunches at Tasty and Alder, thrift store hunts, late-night talks about our fears and dreams. Kate was there when my last relationship crashed, holding me together with ice cream and playlists. She was my maid of honor, helping me pick dresses, teasing me about my terrible taste in centerpieces. I thought our friendship was unbreakable, a constant in a world that changes too fast. Portland was the backdrop to our story, a city of bridges and bookstores, where every corner feels like a painting. Matt and I would wander Powell's books, picking novels for each other, or grab beers at Deschutes Brewery, planning our future. Kate would join us, her energy lighting up our trio, her stories about work or dating disasters making us laugh. We'd hike in Forest Park, the three of us, with Kate snapping photos and Matt carrying the snacks. I thought we were building something special, a chosen family. But looking back, I see the shadows, the moments I missed, because betrayal doesn't start with a bang, it starts with whispers. The first signs came about 6 months ago, so subtle I barely noticed. Matt started working late, saying his team was crunching on a new app launch. He'd come home to our loft, his eyes tired, his hugs distracted. I'd ask about his day, and he'd give short answers, saying it was just code and deadlines. I didn't push, he'd always been dedicated, and I was swamped, too, juggling designs for Greenwave's rebrand. Around the same time, Kate got weirdly busy. Our brunches tapered off, and she'd cancel plans, saying she had client meetings or was helping a friend. She'd show up to work with a new glow, wearing sharper outfits, a perfume I didn't recognize. I teased her about a secret boyfriend, and she'd laugh, too quick, saying it was just work stress. I believed her because why wouldn't I? The doubts started piling up, small but heavy. Matt's phone would buzz at odd hours late at night, early morning. He'd glance at it, type a reply, and set it face down, a habit he'd never had. One night, I woke up at 3 a.m. to find him in the living room, texting, his face lit by the screen, a soft smile I didn't recognize. I asked who it was, rubbing sleep from my eyes, and he said it was a coworker, then tucked his phone away fast. Kate was acting off, too. She'd step out of our team meetings to take calls, coming back with vague excuses about vendors. Once, I caught her texting in the break room, her cheeks flushed, her fingers flying. I asked who, joking, and she said it was her mom, but her eyes darted away. I let it go, but a tiny knot formed in my chest. The truth hit me 2 weeks ago on a rainy Tuesday. I was at Greenwave, working late on a logo, when I opened our team's Slack channel to check a deadline. A message popped up, one I wasn't meant to see, because it was in a private thread I'd been accidentally added to. It was from Kate to Matt. Miss you. Same spot tonight. My heart stopped. I scrolled up, my hands shaking, and found more messages about meeting at a bar, a weekend trip, a heart emoji from Kate. They were short, coded, but unmistakable. I felt sick, like the room was spinning. Was this real? My Matt? My Kate? I didn't confront them right away. I couldn't. I needed more, something to make the impossible solid. I logged into Matt's iCloud from my laptop, my fingers trembling, using a password I'd seen him type once. In his photos, I found a folder labeled work, but it wasn't work. There were pictures of him and Kate, a selfie at a winery, her arm around his waist, another at a concert, her head on his shoulder, one in a hotel room, their faces close, laughing. The timestamps went back 6 months, matching weekends he'd been at conferences or Kate was visiting family. I found a call log in his phone, synced to the cloud, showing late-night calls to Kate, some lasting hours, when I was asleep or working. My tears fell, blurring the screen, but I kept looking because stopping meant facing it. I went through Kate's desk the next day, after she left early, my heart pounding. In a drawer, I found a receipt for a coffee shop in Seattle, dated a weekend Matt was at a coding retreat. The receipt was for 2 lattes, and I recognized his order, oat milk, double shot. I found a note, too, in her handwriting, tucked in a planner. Can't wait for Friday. It was dated last month, when I was at a design workshop. Every clue was a fresh wound, proof of a world they'd built without me. I talked to Liam, our coworker, needing someone to anchor me. Liam's a quiet guy, a data analyst with a knack for listening. We grabbed coffee at Stumptown, and I told him I was struggling, keeping it vague. He said he'd noticed Matt and Kate acting close, always whispering in the break room, but thought it was work stuff. They've been weirdly in sync, he said, and my stomach twisted. Liam's kindness was a small comfort, but it couldn't undo the truth. I started therapy last week with Dr. Harris, a calm woman with a voice like a warm blanket. I told her about the messages, the photos, the receipt. She asked how it felt, and I said it was like losing my footing, like the ground I'd trusted was gone. She said betrayal like this shakes your sense of self, but I could rebuild. She gave me a notebook to write my thoughts, and I've been filling it with questions. How did I miss it? Was I too busy? Too trusting? I'm angry, heartbroken, lost all at once. I haven't confronted Matt or Kate yet. I'm still gathering pieces, still hurting. The loft feels wrong now, every sticky note from Matt a lie. Greenwave is a minefield, with Kate's laugh echoing down the hall. I keep working, designing, smiling for clients, but it's a mask. Liam's been checking in, sensing something's off. Dr. Harris says I'm stronger than I feel, but I don't know. I'm sharing this because I need to let it out, to make it real. If you've been betrayed like this, how did you face it? I'm listening because I'm trying to find the courage to take the next step. I'm back because this hurt is a weight I can't carry alone, and talking to you feels like letting out a breath I've been holding too long. If you missed the first part, my name's Emma, I'm 32, and I live in Portland, Oregon, where my life used to feel like a dream. I was engaged to Matt, my charming fiancé, and had Kate, my best friend, by my side, planning our wedding, laughing over coffee. But 2 weeks ago, I found a message in our work Slack that shattered everything. A message showing Matt and Kate, my maid of honor, have been having a secret affair for months. I found photos, call logs, a receipt, proof they've been building a world behind my back. I'm still reeling, still digging, and now I'm facing them, trying to understand how the people I loved most could do this. This is where my story takes a turn, and I'm ready to share what happened next. The days after finding that Slack message were like walking through a fog. Our loft, with its big windows and stacks of art books, felt like a stranger's house. Matt's sticky notes, once sweet, now mocked me from the fridge. At Greenwave, our startup, I'd pass Kate in the hall, her red hair catching the light, and my stomach would twist. I kept designing, smiling for clients, but it was an act. I couldn't eat, barely slept, just kept replaying those photos, Matt and Kate at a winery, her arm around him, their smiles brighter than I'd ever seen. I needed more answers because knowing was painful, but not knowing was worse. I started digging deeper, my hands shaky, my heart racing. I checked Matt's laptop when he was at a meeting, using his password from memory. In his email, I found a hidden folder labeled miscellaneous. Inside were messages from Kate, sent through a private app called Signal, not Slack. They were careful, but not careful enough. Can't wait for Saturday, one said. Dated a weekend I was at a design conference. You make everything better, another read, with a photo of them at a bar, his hand on her knee. I printed them, my tears smudging the ink, because I needed something tangible to hold onto this betrayal. I went through Kate's Instagram, something I hadn't done in months. Her posts were polished, Portland sunsets, coffee art, her in nude dresses, but her stories were different. I used an old account to view them anonymously and found clips from a weekend Matt was on a work trip. One showed Kate at a lake, laughing, and in the background, I saw Matt's jacket, the one I'd bought him. Another story from a month ago showed a silver bracelet on her wrist, one I didn't recognize. I froze because I'd found a receipt in Matt's bag for a bracelet dated that same week, tucked in a book. He'd said it was for his sister, but now I knew. I checked their shared calendar, synced to Greenwave's system for team projects. Matt and Kate had entries marked client sync on evenings I was working late. I cross-referenced them with my own schedule. Every time I was at a client pitch or sketching at a coffee shop, they were together. One entry from last month was for a team retreat in Seattle, but Liam, our coworker, had said there was no retreat. I found a hotel confirmation in Matt's email for a room with one bed, booked under his name, with Kate's as a guest. My chest tightened, and I closed the laptop, the truth heavier than I could bear. I called my mom, Sarah, needing her voice to ground me. She lives an hour away, in Salem, and we talked on my balcony, the Portland rain tapping the awning. I told her everything, the message, the photos, the bracelet. She was quiet, then said, "Oh, Emma, my sweet girl, you don't deserve this." Mom's been my rock since Dad passed, always knowing what to say. She asked if I'd confronted them, and I said not yet because I was scared of what I'd hear. She told me to be strong, to face it, because I was worth more than their lies. Her words stayed with me, a small light in the dark. The first confrontation came on a Thursday at Greenwave. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Kate was in the break room, sipping tea, her laugh echoing. I walked in, my heart pounding, and said, "We need to talk." She looked surprised, her smile faltering. I pulled out my phone, showed her the Slack message, the one about meeting Matt. Her face went pale, and she stammered, "Emma, it's not what you think." I cut her off, showing the winery photo, her arm around him. 6 months, Kate, my best friend. How could you? My voice broke, tears spilling. She tried to reach for me, saying it was a mistake, that it started as a fling, that she didn't mean to hurt me. I asked if she loved him. She looked away, her silence louder than words. I told her to stay away from me, then left, her sobs fading behind me. Confronting Matt was harder. He came home that night, his keys jingling, his voice calling my name like nothing was wrong. I was in the living room, the printed emails on the coffee table, my hands clenched. "Sit down," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. He saw the papers, his eyes widening. "What's this?" he asked, but he knew. I showed him the signal messages, the hotel confirmation, the bracelet receipt. "You and Kate." For months. "Why Matt?" My tears fell, but I held his gaze. He sank onto the couch, head in his hands, saying it was a mistake, that it started at a work event, that he didn't know how to stop. He said he loved me, that he wanted our future, our wedding. I asked if he loved her. He paused, then said, "I don't know." That was worse than a yes, worse than anything. I told him to leave, to stay at a hotel. He begged to stay, to fix it, but I couldn't look at him. He packed a bag and left, the door clicking shut like a final note. I sat there for hours, the loft silent, the rain louder than my thoughts. I thought about our life, 3 years of love, plans, promises. I thought about Matt's doodles, his hikes, the way he'd kiss my forehead during storms. I thought about Kate's laughter, our brunches, the way she'd braid my hair when I was stressed. How did it come to this? How did the people I trusted most weave a web of lies? Let me take you back, because this betrayal cuts deeper when you know the roots. Matt and I were magic at first. Our first date was at a food cart pod, sharing tacos under string lights, talking until midnight. He'd surprise me with vinyl records, indie bands I loved, or planned stargazing trips in the gorge. We moved in together 2 years ago, turning our loft into a home. My sketches on the walls, his tech gadgets everywhere. We'd dream of a house, kids, a life of adventure. Kate was part of it, always there, her energy lighting up our world. She'd host game nights, make playlists for our road trips, help me pick my engagement ring. I thought we were a trio, a family by choice. The changes came slowly, like clouds you don't notice until the sky's gray. 6 months ago, Matt started pulling away, not all at once, but in pieces. He'd skip our movie nights, saying he had to debug code. He'd stay up late, his laptop glowing, his fingers typing fast. I was busy, too. Greenwave's rebrand was intense, and I was sketching nonstop. I didn't see the gap growing. Kate's distance started then, too. She'd dodge our thrift store trips, saying she had work. She'd show up to team meetings distracted, her phone buzzing, her smiles forced. Once, I saw her check a message in the office, her face softening in a way I didn't recognize. I teased her, and she brushed it off, but the knot in my chest tightened. I leaned on Liam more, needing someone to talk to. We met at Coava Coffee, the air thick with roasted beans. I told him about the confrontations, the emails, Kate's silence. He hugged me, saying, "You're tougher than this, Emma. You'll get through." Liam's been a quiet ally, his calm grounding me. He said he'd seen Matt and Kate leave work together once, thought it was a project, but now he wondered. His words added another piece to the puzzle I didn't want. Therapy with Dr. Harris was a lifeline. I told her about the confrontations, Matt's, I don't know, Kate's tears. She asked how it felt to face them, and I said it was like losing them twice, once to each other, once to their lies. She said betrayal rewrites your story, but I could write a new one. I've been writing in the notebook she gave me, pages of anger, grief, questions. Why didn't I see it? Was I too wrapped up in work? Too blind to their glances? I kept digging, needing to know how deep it went. In Matt's desk, I found a small box with a note from Kate, "For you, always." Inside was a keychain, a tiny compass, dated 3 months ago. I remembered him using it, saying it was from a coworker. I checked Kate's desk again, finding a planner with a marked date for M's birthday. Matt's birthday was last month, and I'd been out of town. The planner had a photo tucked inside, Matt and Kate at a rooftop bar, her bracelet glinting, their smiles a secret I wasn't part of. I'm sharing this because it's raw, and I need to let it out. The loft isn't home anymore. Greenwave is a battlefield, with Kate's desk a reminder, Matt's absence a ghost. I'm still designing, still showing up, but it's hard. Liam's support, Dr. Harris's words, Mom's love, they're keeping me afloat. I don't know what's next, but I'm not done. If you face this kind of betrayal, how did you find your strength? I'm listening because I'm searching for mine, one step at a time. I'm here one last time because this pain has been a storm I've weathered for too long, and I'm ready to find calm, even if it's just a sliver. If you missed the first 2 parts, I'm Emma, 32, from Portland, Oregon. I thought I had my life mapped out, engaged to Matt, my charming fiancé, and supported by Kate, my best friend, as we planned our wedding. But a Slack message revealed they'd been having an affair for months, confirmed by photos, emails, a bracelet, a keychain. I confronted them, heard Kate's tears, Matt's, I don't know, when I asked if he loved her. I've been digging, hurting, leaning on my coworker Liam, my therapist Dr. Harris, my mom Sarah. Now I'm facing the truth head-on, deciding who I am without them. This is the end of my story, or maybe the start of something new, and I'm ready to share how I found my way. The weeks after confronting Matt and Kate were a blur, like navigating a city with no map. Our loft, once a haven of sketches and sticky notes, felt like a cage. Greenwave, our startup, was a battlefield, Kate's desk a reminder, Matt's absence a ghost. I kept designing, showing up for clients, but my heart wasn't in it. I'd walk Portland's rainy streets, past food carts and bookstores, feeling like a stranger in my own life. The photos haunted me, Matt and Kate at that winery, her bracelet glinting, their laughter a secret I wasn't part of. I needed closure, not just answers, but a way to let go. I kept searching because the truth was all I had left. One night, in Matt's closet, I found a small velvet box hidden in a jacket. My heart stopped, thinking it was for our wedding, but inside was a ring not mine. It was silver, simple, with a tiny sapphire and a note in Kate's handwriting. For you, forever. The date was 3 months ago, when Matt had said he was too busy to plan our venue. I sat on the floor, tears falling, because this wasn't just an affair. It was a promise, a life they'd imagined without me. I took the ring, the note, needing them for what came next. I went to the coffee shop they'd mentioned in their messages, a quiet spot called Heart Coffee Roasters, a place I'd never been. It was cozy, with wooden tables and soft jazz, but it felt wrong, like trespassing. I asked the barista, a young guy with a nose ring, if he'd seen a couple, a man in his 30s, a woman with red hair. He nodded, saying they came often, always in a corner booth, sharing pastries, laughing. Thought they were married, he said, and my stomach churned. I sat in that booth, picturing them, their hands linked while I was at work, oblivious. I left, the rain soaking my coat, but I had what I needed, confirmation of their world. Liam gave me another piece of the puzzle. We met at Powell's Books, surrounded by shelves, the air thick with paper and ink. I told him about the ring, the coffee shop. He looked uneasy, then said he'd heard rumors at Greenwave. People had seen Matt and Kate at team events, too close, whispering when they thought no one noticed. I didn't want to believe it, he said, but it makes sense now. Liam's honesty was a lifeline, his friendship a reminder that not everyone betrays. He asked what I was going to do, and I said I needed to face them both, together, to end it. The final confrontation came on a Saturday at a neutral spot, a park near the Willamette River, with bridges looming in the mist. I texted Matt and Kate, asking them to meet me, saying it was urgent. They showed up, Matt in his usual jacket, Kate with her hair pulled back, both looking nervous. I held up the ring, the note, and said, "Tell me everything. No more lies." My voice shook, but I stood tall. Kate started crying, saying it began at a work party, a drunken kiss that grew into more. She said she loved him, but hated hurting me. Matt said he was confused, caught between us, that he thought he could fix it without me knowing. I asked why they didn't stop, why they chose each other over me. Matt said he felt alive with Kate, but still loved me. Kate said she was lonely, that Matt filled a void. Their words were knives, but I needed them raw. I told them we were done, Matt and I, Kate and I. I gave Matt the ring back, saying, "This belongs to your future, not mine." I walked away, their voices fading, the rivers hum louder than my pain. Let me take you back, because this betrayal stings more when you know what I lost. Matt and I were a spark at first, late-night talks in food carts, hikes where he'd carry my water, mornings where he'd trace my sketches with a smile. We'd plan our wedding, picking songs, dreaming of a small ceremony under pines. Kate was my sister in all but blood, college nights, studying to Bon Iver, road trips to the coast, her cheering when Matt proposed. She'd braid my hair, plan my bachelorette, say I was her family. Those memories, once bright, now feel like lies, stitched together to hide the truth. I went to therapy after, spilling everything to Dr. Harris. I told her about the ring, the park, their confessions. She asked what I wanted now, and I said I wanted to be me again, not the woman they broke. She said healing starts with choices, small ones, that rebuild your core. I wrote in the notebook she gave me, pages of grief, anger, hope. I wrote about the loft, how it held too many ghosts. I wrote about Greenwave, how I couldn't stay. I wrote about myself, how I was enough, even now. I leaned on Liam, meeting him at Stumptown Coffee, the air warm with espresso. I told him I was leaving Greenwave, that I couldn't work with Kate's shadow. He said he'd miss me, but I was doing the right thing. Liam's been a rock, his quiet strength a reminder of trust. He shared his own story, a breakup that left him raw, and said time would soften the edges. I believed him, just a little. I called Mom, Sarah, and drove to Salem to see her. We sat in her garden, roses blooming despite the rain. I showed her the note, told her about the park. She hugged me, saying, "You're my brave girl. You'll build something new." Mom's love was a tether, pulling me back to myself. She said Dad would have been proud, and I cried, missing him, but feeling stronger. I made big choices. I ended the lease on the loft, moving to a small apartment in the Pearl District with a skylight and space for my art. I quit Greenwave, starting freelance design, pitching to local businesses. My first client was a bookstore, and their excitement lit a spark in me. I canceled the wedding, selling my dress, donating the deposits. It hurt, but it freed me. I saw Matt one last time at a cafe to return his keys. He looked tired, his charm gone. He said he'd ended things with Kate, that he'd messed up, that he'd always love me. I said I hoped he'd find himself, but I was done. I walked away, the city buzzing around me, feeling lighter. Kate sent a letter, apologizing, saying she'd lost herself, begging to talk. I didn't reply. Maybe someday, but not now. I don't forgive them, not fully. Maybe I never will. But I forgive myself for trusting, for loving, for not seeing. I'm learning who I am without them. I'm sketching again, filling canvases with color. I'm teaching a design workshop, sharing my passion. I'm finding joy in Portland's small moments, rain on my window, coffee with Liam, Mom's voice on the phone. If you've been betrayed, know you're not alone. You can rebuild, even when it feels impossible. I'm proof, and I'm rooting for you, one step at a time.